Discourse 26, Saint Germain, Invocation. Thou mighty infinite presence, all-enfolding love, infinite in thy activity, gracious in thy loving power, we salute thee heart to heart, face to face, pouring forth eternal gratitude for the outpouring of thy mighty energy, for the use of thy directing wisdom, for the presence of thy opulence in our homes and use. We acclaim ourselves that active part of thee, self-conscious of thy divinity, maintaining every hour thy supreme command. I bring you greetings from the great host who minister and who watch all activity. The Discourse. We all rejoice exceedingly in the wondrous loving presence of the students for the great harmony, joy, and accomplishment that has been attained. How mighty that miracle-working presence I am can and will manifest its dominion if such a wonderful state is maintained. And I tell you with no uncertainty, it can be maintained, ever growing greater and greater in the comprehension of that God presence in its supreme power of divine love. Every student should remember with definite certainty that in this quickening power of the I Am presence within his being, everything good or otherwise is stirred into action. If there is latent within the consciousness a rebellion, resentment, or the inclination to judge, it means that all this will be stirred and brought to the surface to be consumed. And I tell you with no uncertainty, unless the student consciously consumes that which is brought forth to the surface, it will consume him. If he finds himself becoming irritated, he should seize the reins and, issuing the command through the I Am presence, declare that this be governed harmoniously. Here, let me again remind the students that the greatest thing in their progress is self-correction, and there is no person, place, condition, or thing to blame for what they entertain but themselves. This is the most imperative for their future progress. These beloved students have arrived at a point where such subtle conditions must be made clear and thoroughly understood. Otherwise, they will find themselves facing conditions they are unable to govern. I repeat again to the students to be greatly encouraged because of the strides they are making in self-control, the fuller and fuller acceptance of these mighty laws of life, and their willingness to apply the mighty whip of self-correction. For I tell you frankly, and I speak from experience, that the outer activity which we term the human has to be flayed with no uncertainty before it is brought under subjection to the divine command. The reason I gave the use of the ray or flame through the hand is because the minds of some are attuning more rapidly than the atomic structure of the body is being raised. This activity of passing the hand over the body will maintain and sustain that equalization of the quickening of the mind and the raising of the atomic structure to its balancing point. I am so happy and willing to give every assistance to the students, as are others, but there are certain bounds beyond which we may not go because of the self-conscious advancement of the students, which they must do for themselves. However, every one of them has everything by which to be encouraged. But again, let me urge them that at no time may they divide the attention of the I Am presence. To do this means that you are releasing the stream of energy and giving power to outside things and simply delaying your progress. I speak from experience. It is not possible to divide the attention, for it must all be given to the I Am presence in order to go beyond a certain point of attainment. I do not wish to bring any shock to the students under this radiation, but I must speak the truth that if those beloved students who have been brought under this radiation are not able to hold their attention entirely upon the I Am presence, it will close the door to our assistance to them for a long time. This need not be done if the students will follow the direction, make the sincere effort every time the attention wanders off, bring it back with firm determination and say, I give all power to the I Am presence which I am, and I refuse with determination acceptance to anything else ever again. I wish to prepare the students that there will come the time when they may not be sustained by our messengers, but must rely on their own ability to hold with such a firm grip upon the I Am presence that they will always receive its mighty sustaining power. It is useless and a mistake for any student after months of instruction to each day or every few days allow himself to be thrown into a sense of depression or doubt of the inner power or his ability to apply it. This childish attitude of mind will in time shut the door if it is not discontinued. Each student should take his positive stand the moment discord of any kind attempts to enter into the mind and assert his dominion by declaring, I am the almighty governing presence of my life and my world, and I am the peace, harmony, and courage self-sustained, which carries me serenely through everything that confronts me. It is so important that the students have the benefit of the manuscripts that we must discontinue the instruction until they are completed, for according to their ability to accept that which is illustrated in the manuscripts will the great judge determine what shall next be given. We may not under any circumstances take the student beyond the point where he is well fortified. I must say, for the protection of the students, that should certain phenomena manifest about them, to be calm, poised, and unmoved by it at all times, and to go serenely along, not allowing their attention to be held by it, for it is not unlikely in this number of students that some may have sufficiently generated energy from past understanding at a certain point to produce certain phenomena. In such a case, they should always take the firm stand, I am the governing presence of this, utilizing it in its highest expression and use. You see, in all this amount of instruction that has been given, it is but a fragment upon which the student must build. The student must always watch for ideas from within himself upon which to build his expansion. The first premise for every student on earth who wishes to attain permanent achievement is to first remind himself that I am the presence and intelligent activity. This is the first principle, and in it he can never go astray. I assure the beloved students that they need not crave nor desire phenomena, for the natural law of their beings in their sustained progress will produce abundant phenomenal proof as they are ready for it. In this, mark you, I do not in any wise refer to the appearance of any of the ascended ones, for that is an entirely different thing, and is really not to be taken as phenomenon of any kind. I watched with great interest the inner activity of the students Tuesday and Wednesday, and it was very gratifying to see the expansion of that inner light within them as the power of love grew more intense. It should be remembered by the students that when they say I am, they are making the outer activity a mighty magnet for the light to reach and expand. I think it would be very wise for each student to take the attitude at this time, or in the beginning of the use of both the instruction and the manuscript, Great I Am Presence, take me within thyself. There instruct me and cause me to retain the full memory of these inner instructions. As messengers of the light, this training is very essential, but the idea should not in any wise cause anxiety or tension in the desire to retain, because an attitude of that kind might easily close the outer memory of the inner experience. I cannot help but smile to myself at the closeness with which some of the students are coming to most surprising things. But I trust they will always find themselves poised and serene in whatever the experience is, knowing that I am the one eternal self-sustained life in action, and to forever remove from their consciousness that there is such a condition as so-called death anywhere in the universe. The outer activity of the mind and world is a passing maya, shifting as the sands of the desert, and need never cause anyone the slightest concern, for I am the eternal life, knowing no beginning and never finding an end. Out of the heart of the great silence comes the ceaseless pouring stream of life, of which each one is an individualized part. That life is you, eternally, perfectly self-sustained, and the garments it clothes itself with are of but little consideration until one comes to the point of recognition wherein the attainment has prepared for him the seamless garment, self-sustained, radiant with every prismatic color. Then may one indeed rejoice in that eternal garment that is ever radiant and changeless, which has removed him from the wheel of cause and effect and has made him a being of cause only. That cause is the radiance of divine love, ever pouring and evolving into its conscious, self-poised, radiant God center, the heart of the I Am presence, which is eternal youth and beauty, the all-knowing presence containing in self-conscious action the past, present, and future, which, after all, are but the one eternal now. Such is the eternal elimination of all time and space. Then you find your world peopled with perfect beings, your buildings decorated with choicest jewels, you standing in the center of your creation, the jewel in the heart of the lotus, its petals your mighty avenues of its perfect activity. Such is a humble picture of that which stands before you, beckoning you into your perfect eternal home and radiance. You see, I feel that glorious radiance, and if each one, especially the students, could center themselves in the presence of divine love and hold themselves there firmly, what wonderful experiences would come to them if they would shut out the interference of the outer activity of the mind. For one to take the attitude that I am the presence of divine love at all times would do such wonderful things. To use this statement and feel it would at all times close the door to the outer activities of the mind. The solution of every problem is always right at hand because the I Am presence always holds everything within it. A demand is the impelling of the solution into expression. I Am is the intelligent, active principle within us, the heart of our beings, the heart of the planet, and the heart of the system. I cannot refrain from reminding the students again, for they should always know that whenever you say I am, you are releasing the one almighty, intelligent energy, power, and self-sustained element. Keep at it, and you will come into a condition so supreme, so wonderful. When you are looking into the physical sun, you are really looking into the great central sun, the very heart of the I Am presence. You must take the unconditional stand with your body that the I Am presence governs this physical body completely and compels it into obedience. The more attention you give your body, the more it is the master and the more it will demand and keep demanding from you. When the physical body is either chronically ill or continually showing disturbance, it proves that it has been given attention over a period of years to one disturbance or another, and it will never improve until one takes the positive attitude and whips it into obedience. You can positively produce whatever you want in your body if you will fix your attention upon the perfection of it, but do not let your attention rest on its imperfections. For the ascension, I am the commanding presence. Use this often, for it stills the outer activity so you become centered in the activity of love. The instant you feel something discordant, turn away from it. You have the scepter of power in your consciousness. Now use it. You are to follow Jesus' command. See no man after the flesh. It means exactly what it says. Recognize no human imperfection in thought, feeling, word, or deed. A very powerful thing to use in problems is to take the simple consciousness, God in me, the I Am presence, come forth. Govern and solve this situation harmoniously. It would do wonders. The whole thing is to instantly draw forth the I Am presence and set it to work. Jesus said, ask and ye shall receive. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Say to your divine self, see here, God, come forth and take care of this. God wants you to set him to work. This releases a flood of the God energy, intelligence, and substance which flows forth to do the command. Benediction. Thou mighty, commanding I Am presence, assert thy dominion within the heart and consciousness of each student. Command the life activity to express its fullness. Set thyself as a guard at the door of the mind of each one, so he admits only that which is helpful and harmonious. Bless each one with that power to hold fast and go forth to harmonious attainment. We thank thee. Notes. Cha'ara, his mother, Nada, and Saint Germain were working very intensely on the expanding of the inner light within each one who was here. We wished that the students might see from the inner standpoint. It would be an experience never to be forgotten.